What's raging, gamers? Welcome to season 4 of Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. How you doing, Henrik the Wreck?
You know what, Chris? As always, I am doing great. How about yourself?
You know, I'm doing good, but you know what? The first thing I noticed right away is we're both wearing jackets. We don't usually wear jackets. I am freezing my tush off right now in Southern California, but then at the same time, I got to be blessed because I'm looking at the NFL playoff pictures. I'm seeing certain games like Miami, you know, the sunny side of Miami, going to Kansas City, playing in Arrowhead with projected, 0 degrees Fahrenheit? I think I got to stay a little humble.
Yeah, it's not that cold out here.
It's not
LA,
that cold. So on this a beautiful morning, kicking off season 4 launch of Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. We are super blessed and embrace it. The year of the Mamba is upon us. That's what Kobe would have wanted from all of us. But hey, you know, a lot of things were going on during the winter break, and we kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit of rapid fire news. First thing that occurred, which if you've been like Patrick Starr, living under a rock, you might have missed this news, but Mickey Mouse from Steamboat Willie has entered the public domain. You know, film studios, including the game industry, which you can clearly see here. This is a game featured on Steam within 48 hours, by the way, Henrik. Wasn't that crazy?
They jumped on it immediately.
And I even saw Adult Swim even troll, you know, the release of Steamboat Willie as well. But when you see, like, even this image right here, what's your first reaction?
To be honest, it kind of looks bad.
My thing was, it's like, okay, the minute Steamboat Willie became a public domain, why was it that everybody wanted to make it a horror rendition? Why is that always the case?
That's what happened with the Winnie the Pooh as well.
That's true.
Immediately, like right when it went to public domain, there's like, I think 2 horror films. There's a sequel to one of them that's coming out as well. It's like,
yeah, wow. Not even a comedy.
You guys wasted no time.
No time at all to really just freak the hell out of our future generations with something that was iconic at one point. Yeah. But just to be let everybody know, with the whole public domain, it's only for Steamboat Willie. So the modern rendition of Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse, that is still clearly cannot be touched. So hey, have some fun with it. Don't
let the Disney lawyers come after you, because they will destroy you if they get the chance.
Oh, you ain't lying. But what else was also going on when it came to over the winter break?
Jack Black posted a picture of himself reading a Minecraft book, kind of teasing like, hey guys, I'm working on something. And then he did confirm, yeah, I am playing Steve in the Minecraft movie, so look forward to that. And I mean, considering his success as Bowser, I think he's going to take it seriously. That's my opinion on that.
He is the man of the gamers, for the gamers.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people, including myself, even in the early stages, remember when like Jumanji was getting, readapted again. You're like, oh my gosh, leave
with the
such
Rock.
Yeah, it's like, leave that alone. That's a Robin Williams classic. Like, we do not want to taint it. Now that we're starting to see, Jack Black start to get into some of these iconic franchises, something like, Minecraft, which has never seen the cinematic screen before. We will see what happens, but, going from pixelated to unpixelated, kind of strange.
It is a little strange, yeah. But, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, maybe they'll do a decent job with it, considering Minecraft is such a big name. I mean, they should take it seriously, right?
But why fix what's not broken? I mean, wouldn't that be kind of funny if they do a live action, but it's still 16-bit? And you're there for an hour and a half in the movie theaters like, dog, this is hurting my eyes. But, 2023, that was such an incredible year. We highlighted that like crazy during our first year of Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. And to really put that into context, check out this chart that I got live on screen, because Steam had a record-breaking year, launching more than 14,000 games in the last 12 months than any previous year. And to put that into context, gamers, that's around 40 new games every single day. That is wild, and especially considering, you're looking at 2024, and they're already saying 277, which most of the time, Henrik, January's always kind of joked around as being a very dry month. Clearly, there's
Yeah,
games
and
out
I
there
mean,
for you.
we're only a few days into January too, so that does say something there as well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got to think, okay, this is Steam. So you go on the Steam homepage.
Yeah.
How many of these games are quote shovelware, stuff that is basically slop that no one's ever really going to play? And what other games are also included in this that are just porn games?
Oh, so this
Because
is
there's plenty of that.
So are you saying with this whole shovelware, is this kind of like an outlet for indie game developers to kind of highlight their skills and might not necessarily be purchased, but something to put there on their LinkedIn?
Yes, but I mean, at the same time, there's plenty of games that go on Steam that it's like, this is not even something you should put on your resume, man. Like, this is just not something that should even be praised because it's just asset flips.
Hey, fair enough. I totally understand. I'm speculating, fam. I'm just speculating. But hey, we always like to do this at the top of the hour where we always like to look at goofy content that's circulating all across the globe. And, bachelor parties, it's a time where, the men and the women, they can kind of do their own thing before they tie the knot and they go off on their merry ways. But, one gamer got very creative for one of their people. And let's just put it this way. It was not the kind of pipes that he was thinking.
The unmasking at the end.
Yeah, right, exactly. He was thinking he was going to lay the pipes, but sorry, brother, it doesn't work like that. You have a wonderful lady waiting for you, or guy. I don't know your preference, brother, but, we ain't going to judge or discriminate here. But hey, the very first comment when it came to this viral video was, let's see it, bang, bang, bang. Nothing to see here, just the Mario Brothers laying down the pipe. Yep, I hear you on that one. You guys should have given him coins to throw at them, laughing out
that would
loud.
have been great.
Right? I mean, you make it rain at the strip club, but you don't want to make it hail. You don't want to give that gal or Mario and Luigi a black eye. And last, you took off Mario's head to find Mario. So, I mean, what a very creative way. I bet those guys looked like they had a blast during their bachelor event. So very, very cool. And thanks for sharing that video. And also, you ever played Overcooked?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually kind of stressful, the game.
Kinda. Oh, my gosh. It is an beautiful game, but man, it's something that we all wish for, because it seems like nowadays it's really kind of hard to find a really good co-op game, something that's kind of like fast and quick, and not something where Take Two or no, why am I blanking out of the game? Oh my gosh. It Takes Two. Thank you, Henrik. Yeah. That you're going to have to dive in hours and hours on end. With Overcooked, you get to have these kind of very fun short renditions, but this is why some people say it's like, why not pick up a second job for a 9-to-5 gig when you hustling as much as you are with Overcooked? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, man, people take it to a whole new level.
This is fucking unacceptable. You have to stay prepping. When the cart goes over, stay on your side. I'm working on soups. You work on fish and chips. And pay attention. Some are fish, some are just chips. We can't keep fucking up these orders. That's how we keep losing money.
Yes, chef. Yes, chef.
Yes, chef. Yes, chef.
You will speak when spoken to. Sounded like
this
Stephen A.
channeling
Smith.
Gordon Ramsay a little bit.
Oh, big time. It's great. I love that clip. And the first comment we got here was, this game had me annoyed at my girl. The patience you need to have is crazy. You ain't lying. If you ain't on the same kind of energy as that guy is giving out, then you ain't a part of my kitchen, fam. Hasta la vista, baby. Number 2, Overcooked will turn anyone into Mad Gordon. Yep, just like how you stated, Henrik the Wreck. Why he acting like he getting paid by the hour for this? Hey, man, sometimes video games can get that serious. I'm telling you, you got to be aware of your surroundings.
Hey, you just try and have fun, but I mean, with that game, you kind of have to really work together, and that means taking it a little bit seriously.
See, I'm not the one in a healthy relationship. You are, Henrik the Reckonist, and I know your girl's a gamer. Would this be something that you would even dare bring up with her? I mean, is this something that, you want to keep a healthy relationship going in 2024, so you're going to abort the mission and not play Overcooked too?
I think that we'd have some fun playing the game, actually.
Okay, fair enough. I think you're being nice. I think you're being nice on camera.
Things kind of get a little heated. I think at the end of the day, we're going to be like, man, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
we're getting heated over this.
All right, fair enough. But you know what I love about video games? It embraces all generations. And a 71-year-old military vet is taking his skills to a whole new level playing Battlefield 2042. And I remember last year, even Hendrik was kind of clowning. He's like, man, you still playing Battlefield 2042? I like it. I think it's kind of fun. At the original time, the launch was horrendous. We all understand that. But as it went on, trust me, fam, it's a whole lot better experience. But, this man, he's taking us all out. Better watch out. He might be in your lobby-dobby.
Oh, I know that guy's pissed. Now I'll go over this one more time, how to aim. You pick a spot,
Not good,
like
sir.
right there on
We
that
need to
corner.
secure more territory.
It hit dead on, so you know at least from there in through here.
Smoking
Yeah, secure
hostile.
sector
Distance
Alpha.
300 meters.
That's the range.
You've got plenty of fight left. They're hitting hard.
He's exciting to watch in a way because he's explaining things in a very calm manner. He's actually trying to tell people how to do things the right way. So I appreciate that.
As we still try to figure it out. I mean, he's killer, fam. And so the first comment that we got here is, gave a pretty good aiming tip too. Hey, real, recognize, real. The satisfaction at that laugh. I know, he's like,
Yeah. He's like, I got him.
Right? He probably get 4 kills a game, but he's having fun. Okay, that's a little bit of a hater move, okay? We don't know. We don't know the context to it, but hey, sometimes it's like that when you're playing a sniper round in Battlefield 2042. You just better hope that the capture spot that you're positioned in and you're laying on the ground is the one that everybody's gravitating to. So hey, shout out to all the great tips. Maybe it might apply to your game in 2024, but hey, we'll see what's good. But while you guys are here, I think it's important to let you guys know that Henrik the Wreck and I, we both got our separate channels. So go ahead and scan the QR code to follow Chris Collins, me, myself, You can follow me on YouTube as well as Henrik the Wreck. So go ahead, take a screenshot, do what you will. All the subscribes go a long way as we're going to be building a lot more content for this year. Like I told y'all, it's the year of the Mamba, fam. But hey, Henrik the Wreck, are you ready to rock and roll?
Absolutely. You know me. I'm ready to rage.
Hey, let's get it, fam.
Hey everyone, this is Pause or Repeat. Here we figure out whether a game is really worth your time and money. Today's game is Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. Avatar is best known as the movie series from James Cameron with cutting-edge special effects. There have been 2 movies so far with over 11 years between them, but now it seems like James Cameron is more committed to keeping the series alive quicker, and ventures into gaming is no exception to that. But is a movie tie-in game even going to be good? Let's find out by first looking at the gameplay. The gameplay of Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is going to be immediately reminiscent of Far Cry, which makes sense considering Ubisoft has some involvement, albeit not being the direct developers. The game is an open world adventure with all the things you'd expect from an Avatar game: bows, guns, human machinery, and enemies. Where the game really shines is developing the world of Pandora between its lush environments and letting you explore on foot and by sky. It being an open world game, expect plenty of objectives to complete for main missions and side missions. The game encourages you to approach your objectives whichever way you'd like, but it will be hard to stay stealthy as the enemies are pretty keen on finding you. But how about the story? To get you up to speed, there is a Na'vi ambassador program that is run by humans. Your playable character happens to be one of the Na'vi children in this program, also known as TAP. The RDA, or Resources Development Administration, heads the program, as well as all ventures on Pandora. It is quickly revealed that the Na'vi children in TAP have been abducted at a young age. Suddenly, events in the movie series with Jake Sully take place, and the kids are hidden away in cryosleep. Years later, the kids are rescued by the resistance in the area that is fighting against the RDA. So simply put, you are a native Na'vi who is thrust into fighting against the RDA in a resistance, just enough premise to tie into the movie series. But now the question still stands. Pause or repeat?
I feel like you really need to actually be a big fan of the movie series to really enjoy this game. Not to say that you can't enjoy the game if you haven't seen the movies or if you're not a fan of the movies, but it really feels like it is catering to the crowd of people that have had an experience watching the movies and have already enjoyed that so much that they want to immerse themselves in the world completely. I didn't feel that. I didn't personally feel that, and I felt like a lot of the stuff that the game presented to me was already done in previous games, even in Far Cry itself, which at that point, why not just play Far Cry? Why play another game that's kind of
that sounds a tad harsh. I mean, I understand it's like Far Cry.
You know?
No, I hear you on that one, but I think the plus about this game is, though, it's like you don't even have to really watch the movies. It's its own separate story alone, so it kind of ramps you up pretty quickly into the world of Pandora and what it's all about.
But it kind of ramps you in there a little too quickly, I feel like. That intro especially felt a little bit sloppy, in my opinion.
Well, do you think it's because of what you just referenced, though? It's because, this is a bit catered towards the people that are fans of the cinematic universe of Avatar.
Yeah, probably that is part of it at the very least. But I think if you're trying to build this world, you go through the intro cinematics and it's like there's a jump in time and then there's another jump in time and then there's another jump in time. It's like you didn't build up these characters, so how can I care about them? Because I have no connection to them outside of this 5 minutes of cutscenes. And sure, they've had a lot of experience together, but I didn't experience that.
Yeah, I think sometimes too, when you go into like cinematic scenes like you're describing inside of the video game, the game is locked in first person. So even when you go to the cutscenes, it goes into first person as well. And sometimes I kind of wanted to break away from that and actually see my character. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, I'm not a gigantic fan of the Avatar cinematic universe, so I'll leave my bias away, but I gotta say the world of Pandora in Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is impeccable. It's phenomenal. I mean, they got over 3 regions to explore. It gave me kind of like an Assassin's Creed Odyssey kind of vibe where you can explore all the scopes of the land, which is very, very fun, and the combat is excellent. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest positives about the game. But after a while, you're going after these RDA camps, and it kind of feels like the layouts are a bit recycled on a level. And you sort of nailed it too. I mean, with a game like this and a story that's so iconic to some people, maybe not myself, but to others would completely disagree with me. What's awesome about Avatar for most people is the story, but with this video game, there is nothing story driven about it. The lack of story, the characters are unmemorable, and that's really what makes me not want to revisit this game. Some people might want to revisit it just because of the world to experience, but for myself, I didn't get that same kind of reaction after playing the game. What about yourself, Henrik?
I mean, the point you made is definitely true of the world being the high point of the game, which, I mean, when you look at the movies, that's kind of the high point of the movie too, is this new world that everyone's having to explore for the first time, or at least the humans are exploring for the first time, and the viewers as well. And this game really does let you go a lot of places, you know, like you said, 3 regions. And when you get a mount, you feel like, oh, okay, they're going to probably limit me on where I can go. No, they let you go a lot of places with that mount. So there's a lot to see, but it really does feel like it's just a lot of recycled stuff from other games on the underlying stuff. So if you're not that big fan of exploring a new planet and, you know, immersing yourself in it, you're kind of it's gonna peter out for you.
It's a bit recycled. You know, you're doing the hunting and the gathering, and I felt like as you're playing the story, you do the less hunting, which I feel like they really wanted a lot of people to do, but you just kind of sort of skip it and you just kind of jump along trying to figure out where the heck the story is going. And I'm not gonna spoil the plot for anybody, but there was so much available that was set up in the beginning of the game to really make it story driven, and they completely fell flat, which is so unfortunate. I think they can bounce back if they do want to follow up with the sequel. But again, the combat's so freaking fun. I mean, when you get to pick up the numerous style of guns, for example, like an electrified shotgun, and you get to rip an enemy out of their mech suit and just thrash them up against the wall. So much fun. But other than that, I mean, we want to hear from you gamers. How are you guys vibing with it? Am I dead ass wrong? I'm calling a pause. How about yourself, Henrik?
Yeah, for me, it's a pause as well. I think that this game really falls into the trap of a lot of open world games where the narrative suffers as a result of it being an open world game. I feel like their narrative probably would have actually been better if it was an open world. But at the same time, you wouldn't have gotten the same experience of exploring and everything. So,
I'm with you
but
on
for me,
that
it's
one.
a pause, definitely.
Hey, well, you heard it from us. We're kicking off the year with pauses, but hey, we got a lot more going to be ramping up in the year 2024 when it comes to pause or repeat. Can't thank Henrik the Wreck for setting the tone for the new year. But hey, you ready to rock and roll? We got so much more left here on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. You ready to hit it? You ready to rock and roll, baby?
Absolutely. Right. Let's rage. Let's
rage, baby. Woo! What's good, listeners? Welcome to Patch Notes, where my co-host Henrik the Wreck and I discuss gaming news, industry talk, and so much more. Let's get it. With the holiday season behind us and a new year ahead, January is usually a pretty slow time of the year for new video games. But that doesn't mean there's nothing to play. And 2024 is actually off to a strong start, with several notable franchises returning with brand new entries, and one a remastered. But the first game that we are going to discuss is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Mixes 2D action adventure with an anime influence and stylish combos, creating a high-energy Metroidvania in an era of gods and heroes. If you haven't seen it, let's take a glimpse of the gameplay. Before you chime in, Henrik, I just got to say, that didn't look like Jake Gyllenhaal.
You're living in the past, man. No, I think it's interesting that Prince of Persia is trying to come back now and be relevant again, and they're deciding to make a Metroidvania of all things. I never really thought that they would do that. I felt like they were going to do like another over-the-shoulder kind of like action RPG sort of game, but they did this. And I mean, I'm a fan of Metroidvania games, so we'll see what happens with this one. It might be another pause or repeat.
Yeah, I'm with you. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was kind of anticipating, Prince of Persia kind of returning to like an open world format, but maybe a lot of the gaming industry, like Ubisoft, is a little nervous about going down that approach because, as we kind of sort of discussed during Pause or Repeat during this week's episode, that, with Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, it kind of seems like the open world gameplay is starting to get recycled a little bit, and some people kind of want that linear approach. And what better place to offer that? A 2D action video game like Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. I never would have thought I would have seen this day, but hey, it actually kind of looks badass, even though I'm a little bit of not my first go-to, let's say, when
You're
I'm looking
a hater
for games.
of 2D. I get it.
No, not all the time. I like Limbo and those kind of sort of games, but it's not my go-to, and I feel like there's a lot of gamers like me that feel the same way. But hey, maybe Prince of Persia might be the game for you. And the Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, releases on January 18th on PC, PS5, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox Series XS. And the next game that we're going to be highlighting is a remastered version of The Last of Us Part 2 on PS5, which sounds like a great way to kick off the new year if you've never played it before. If you haven't, then there might not be a whole lot to offer, but there's something else to look forward to for people that want to return to the award-winning game. And that is a new roguelike survival mode called No Return, Lost Levels, which, by the way, who said exactly what was reported last year, that they're bringing these Lost Levels to enhance the HBO series of The Last of Us?
We did.
We did, baby.
We did.
Come on. It was so easy to figure out. And also, because it's being adapted to the PS5, it's going to have full DualSense wireless control integration, which is really, really cool. We're not going to indulge people with a teaser of The Last of Us Part 2 because, come on, we've already seen so much of it over these years. So what we are going to do is show you guys a teaser of the new roguelike survival mode that's going to be a part of the remastered edition called No Return. A lot going on in that trailer.
Yeah, I mean, I can appreciate that at least they're doing something different, adding another mode to the game rather than just re-releasing the game as it was with some updated graphics. Because they could have easily done that and gotten away with it once again.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the first time for them to do that. So, hey,
That's a good point.
I praise them for that at least.
Yeah, and you can clearly see in that teaser for their roguelike survival mode, No Return, that there are different cosmetics when it comes to your characters if you're into that kind of thing. But, hey, listen, if that's for you and if you've never played the game, like if you've never touched it, I don't know what you're waiting for. I love the game. I know it's a bit controversial, but it's controversial because people love that franchise so much. And if you haven't indulged in it, you should. And also, we had a little bit of breaking news this morning. Didn't have enough time to develop a graphic because it literally dropped like 5 minutes before we went to go live. But Caitlin Dever, she has been casted to play Abby in The Last of Us Part 2, or Last of Us HBO series, excuse me. So she was originally a fan favorite cast to actually play Ellie, and she's now returning to another Naughty Dog project because, fun fact, she was actually the mocap actor for Nathan Drake's daughter in Uncharted 4. So congrats to Caitlin Dever. Very, very cool. I'll definitely be watching season 2, but please, more action. More action, please. But let's go into our third and final game we wanted to highlight because 2023 was headlined by Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat 1, but for 2024, Tekken 8 is lacing up its boots and stepping into the ring. Let's go ahead and take a look.
頼むぞ風間陣お前を殺し全てを終わらせる俺の血を引いていながらこの程度か風俺はまた守れないのか
As you can see, that was Tekken 8. Man, you know, I think it was a pretty smart move for them to actually move this game into 2024. I know a lot of studios were kind of moving around their release schedule because, you know, clearly, you know, the pandemic kind of ruffled a few bit of people's feathers. But, you know, Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat 1, I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea to try to go up against these two iconic franchises. Don't get me wrong, Tekken has been around for quite a while, but hey, listen, if you guys love a good fighting game, man, those graphics look badass. How you feeling about this, Henrik the Wreck?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for it. Not as excited as one of my friends who's a bigger fighting game fanatic than I am. He's been, like, since day one of them announcing this, been excited beyond belief. But
I don't mean to cut you off, but like if you're referencing your friend and he's a diehard, like, you know, combat kind of fighting style game, what are those initial reactions that you're hearing from people when it comes to Tekken 8 compared to something that we've already saw in 2023 when it comes to Mortal Kombat 1 and Street Fighter 6? Why is this standing out?
It's standing out because it's a series that's been around for a long time. It's coming back finally, and it's not trying to reboot itself like Mortal Kombat 1 did.
Oh, okay.
It's trying to just be Tekken, you know? It's trying to be, you know, what it was and what drew people in the first place. So that's really what's exciting about it. Because, I mean, Street Fighter kind of did the same thing. And really, I think, honestly, between Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat 1, and Tekken, Street Fighter and Tekken are the two that are really going to be going head-to-head in terms of the community deciding, is this one better or is this one better?
Well, it's interesting towards the end of that teaser trailer, you know, you see Tekken 8 and it's got the 8 number as a chain, but I would say that Street Fighter 6 has actually broken the chain, and when they actually developed like an open world kind of concept, that really, I think, broke boundaries, and I'm really kind of, you know, I mean, obviously Tekken 8 didn't know that was the game plan of studios going forward, and they've already been pushing this game, you know, like 3 or 4 years back, but this is something that I'd like to see Tekken, you know, possibly maybe explore, or then again, you know, do what you will. You know, you got, you know, games like the Yakuza series, for example, that just keeps recycling the same freaking map over and over again. I'm like, they keep getting away with doing this. I have no idea. But if you're into a really badass combat game, Tekken 8 releases on January 26th on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series XS. So we got a lot more we're going to be breaking down here on Patch Notes, and set the tone, Henrik the Wreck. What's the next topic that we're going to be discussing, fam?
Yeah, so there's some video games out there that are unbeatable, completely unbeatable. But there's one that's pretty famous, and that is the original Tetris, which is a block clearing video game first created in the Soviet Union by Alexei Pasakov. And if I got that wrong, I'm sorry.
We're Americans.
It's a foreign name, and it's in a language that I don't speak.
But we want to also respect him, you know. That guy's an iconic legend.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he made Tetris. How can he not be a legend after making a game like Tetris?
Yeah.
And this was back in 1985 that he made that. So it's been around for a very long time. Very long time for it to not be ever beaten. It's actually wild that it's been
insane.
So long. But 13-year-old streamer Willis Gibson, who goes by the screen name Blue Scuddy, managed a feat previously thought to be impossible, which is completing Tetris. And the accomplishment was achieved during the 2023 Classic Tetris World Championship, and Gibson broke 3 world records in the process of beating the game. And we have a clip, so let's take a look.
Oh my god! do have someone that wanted to say hello to you and surprise you.
Yeah, I'm Alexei Pasatnov. I'm creator of Tetris, and grats for you guys to beat the program which kind of existed for many years and played by 100 millions of people. That's quite a achievement, I would say.
What do you think, Willis?
Thank you.
Hank, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Hank Rogers. I'm the guy who went to the Soviet Union in 1989 and met Alexei to bring Tetris to the rest of the world. And what you've done is an amazing, amazing achievement.
Wow. Wasn't that crazy? And a huge shout out to NBC News, Valerie Castro, for conducting such an awesome interview with this young man. Something he'll remember for the rest of his life. And that was really cool to see, the creators that really brought Tetris to the people, the entire world. And to have that moment with that 13-year-old school.
It's going to be a moment that he remembers pretty much for the rest of his life.
Yeah, man. And like, Henrik, who would have thought that a game which has sold over 520 million units since, they say, 1989 has never been beaten until now?
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, that long and it never has been beaten is quite an amazing fact as is. And it really shows that this is something monumental, because there's so many great people out there who are so good at games. How has nobody beaten this until now?
Yeah, you went on Google News and it was worldwide trending at number 3. Out of all the things happening all across the world, gaming was dominating in the top 5, and that's truly remarkable. And people were all over celebrating this accomplishment with the first comment. The fact that the two top rivals don't even show any sort of malice of jealousy, but rather appreciation for each other in the competitive scene is a breath of fresh air. And to put a little context behind this comment, the people that were actually in the world championship paused in disbelief. They couldn't believe that this kid was still going, that they watched, and then he pulled off the feet, and they were just astounded that a 13-year-old can compete at the same pedigree as the people competing in this tournament. Wonderful that a 1980s game is fully appreciated by a 13-year-old in 2024. An inspiring story of determination and perseverance. Huge congratulations to Willis on achieving what was thought to be impossible and showing us that age is not a barrier to success. This dedication is a true testament to his father's support. And his father previously passed away before the tournament. He was a huge advocate of him being a professional gamer, and to see him accomplish something at 13 years old. What did I do at 13 years old? I don't even want to think about that right now. Let's move along. Quote, his reaction is like, if he's won the lottery, end quote. Look, ... A lot of people have won the lottery, but so far only one person has ever beaten Tetris. Congratulations, kid. You did great. Nothing but respect for him. Don't listen to the haters. And you might be wondering, who's the haters? After seeing the other broadcast where the anchor said he should go outside and dismiss his achievement, this is an incredibly refreshing segment to watch. Willis knew exactly who he was talking to when they showed up on screen. You could see his eyes light up before they introduced themselves. What a moment. One he'll never forget. A beautiful dedication to his father, who passed away too. It's really heartwarming. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, after reporting on Blue Scuddy reaching the highest level of anyone who has ever played the game of Tetris, the classic Tetris, crashing its coding, Jane Sector took a moment in her Sky News broadcast to tell the young man to, quote, get some fresh air. So if you haven't seen the clip that's angering gamers, we got you, fam.
Now, Tetris has long been touted as a video game that just can't be beaten, because it just goes on and on. As a mother, I would just say step away from the screen, go outside, get some fresh air. Beating Tetris is not a life goal. Speaking of fresh air, Let's get a look at the weather.
Would it be fun if just Blue Scuddy just has a setup outside and just trolls her?
Like those clips we've seen of people like moving their complete setup outside.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
touch
Like the
grass.
streets of Philly or Chicago. I mean, we've seen it before, but man, I would love to see a very funny clap back at that. But maybe the kids.
I'm sorry, but what a boomer take from that news anchor. Really?
I know. I mean, really, we're still there, fam. I mean, do people not realize like some of the things that can apply to your everyday life when it comes to playing video games could really, help elevate you to the next level? I think it's really, really cool. And believe it or not, there are still games like this 38-year-old game that just got completed for the first time. Really kind of made Henrik the Wreck and I sort of think like, what other games out there haven't been beaten? And from the research that we were able to gather in the last couple days, there's at least 3 games that gamers out there are coming to an agreement that have never been beaten before. So the very first game, you might remember this one on the Game Boy, Dr. Mario. I wasn't the biggest fan of this game growing up because I remember how difficult it was. When Dr. Mario came to Super Smash, totally different story. So much fun. But man, level 20, Virus 68, I mean, oh gosh. I mean, what a throwback.
Yeah.
That's all Hendrix had to say. He's like, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, I mean, it's kind of a similar game to Tetris in a way.
I think you're having like PTSD and you're having like really bad vibes and you're like, I don't want to speak on the matter. Well, on the GameCube, it goes back to Mario franchise again. This was Mario Party 4's Doors of Death. Does anybody remember this? You got to choose left, you got to choose right. But I think the only issue with this kind of game that some gamers, I'm sure, are going to be clapping back through the screen, this is a mini game. This is not the actual game. So,
when
you choose
within
left,
a game, this is some gameception stuff right here.
yeah, and then we're talking Game Boy previously, and you're talking about a GameCube, which is not necessarily a fossilized dinosaur. So there might be an algorithm to make you so you never win. But then again, he froze up the screen. He let that weird buzz of audio go. Whatever. So he knew he won the whole thing when it came to Tetris. And last is RoboCop. But the thing is, it was for the Commodore 64. I know there's even probably millennials on here going, what the hell is even a Commodore 64? It was before the time of Windows 98. So people have beaten the RoboCop on different systems, but when it comes to the Commodore 64, no one has beaten RoboCop. So
I mean, good luck finding one in good condition anyways, so to be honest.
You ain't lying, and maybe that's why it hasn't been beaten. you got to go to the U.S. Library of Congress or something.
Yeah.
And hope that they'll lend you a system. But incredible. So freaking cool.
We were saying, like, this kid's going to remember it for the rest of his life. He's going to remember that interview, meeting the creator of Tetris, everything. It's congratulations.
Yeah.
Absolutely needs a round of applause to that kid.
Hey, but we might as well jump on into the next topic of conversation, because who would have thought? It always seems like every other week there's something going on with Grand Theft Auto, but this time we're going to be reporting on the 18-year-old hacker responsible for stealing and releasing dozens of clips of Grand Theft Auto 6 last year. He has been sentenced to life in a hospital prison. He can only be released in the future if doctors decide he's no longer a danger to others, the BBC reports. So despite having the laptop confiscated, Larian Kurtaj managed to breach Rockstar, the company behind GTA, using an Amazon Fire Stick, his hotel TV, and a mobile phone. Let me say this again. He used an Amazon Fire Stick, his hotel TV, and a mobile phone.
Yeah, that's wild.
This
guy's got some skills.
Oh, big time. And so gamers were very quick to react to their thoughts online with the following. It probably didn't help his case when he said, quote, I am going to hack them again if I get out. And what do you know? What did he do? He hacked them again while in court or on standing on trial. Also, it's important to note that the indefinite does not mean for life too. It just means he is hospitalized and they do not know how long until they can properly assess. It could be for days or for decades. There is no defined time frame, so it is indefinite. That hacking while in custody, dude is like Hannibal Lecter of hackers. Yeah, big time.
That's one way to put it, yeah.
Really, right? Getting live for leaking video games is utterly insane. There are murderers, rapists, and pedophiles that get less jail time than this. This is not a justified punishment. While I agree the punishment is warranted, he is not a threat to the public. No one is really harmed. The Insomniac leakers are probably shitting bricks right now. Yes, I know. Wolverine got, exposed during the winter break, and we don't want to highlight those gameplays just because, we want to wait for the finished product. But, you see what's going on. The 18-year-old hacker is a key member of an international game called Lapsus Money Sign, and it's thought to be mostly teenagers, in which the gang's attacks on tech giants included Uber, Nvidia, and Rockstar Games, which cost each firm nearly $10 million. So, Henrik, when you hear the sentence hearings, the defense team argued that the success of the game's trailer indicated that the hack had not caused serious harm to the game developer and asked that this be factored into the sentencing. What's your thoughts on this whole situation?
Yeah, I mean, from the developer's standpoint, it's someone really ruining the hype in their sense of what they're trying to build up for a game like this at this scale of GTA 6, one of the biggest games probably going to be of the generation. But at the same time, like the court hearings say, I mean, the trailer did just fine, even with any leaks that came out. If anything, the leaks gave people something to talk about when they had no news to talk about the game because Rockstar had their mouths, sealed shut about it.
That's a good point. Like we learn, when you go to school, for, public relations and media, there's no such thing as bad publicity. And, clearly, with those leaked demo clips, a lot of it was like unrendered and kind of choppy too, but it gave a lot of context, which is something that they wanted to keep hush hush for so long. But it's also important to know that, Rockstar actually had their Slack messaging system hacked, and they even declared if Rockstar does not contact me on Telegram within 24 hours, I'll start releasing the source code. And we did share a comment where one guy goes, hey, listen, look, like he wasn't a menace to society, it wasn't a harm to the public. That's actually not true. One of the biggest stories around this kid is leaking the clips with Rockstar Games when it comes to Grand Theft Auto 6, but he was also involved with hacking tech giants like Nvidia and phone company BT/EE and stole people's data, demanding a $4 million ransom towards that company, and they even targeted different cryptocurrency accounts as well, even pulling out what I was reading, about $10,000 worth of crypto for certain people's accounts. I mean, a newsflash, if you're putting $10,000 investment into crypto, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But then
what happened to you? Like, why are you investing in something that's been dead for a while?
So dead. But like to rope it back in and bring it back to, the video game world. Think about it like this, man. We saw Sega pull back on blockchain gaming. Now we're hearing new reports that other video game studios in the year 2024 are thinking about revisiting blockchain technology. How could any studio company get behind this when we got Insomniac and just recently Rockstar Games with these kind of crazy leaks? Why would we bank on supporting more of this live service blockchain gaming? What do you...
No, definitely. The security of that whole technology needs to be put in question in regards to, is the company running these services going to be secure in the first place? Because clearly Rockstar didn't have enough security to prevent an 18-year-old kid from hacking them, and neither did Insomniac, if you want to bring that news topic in as well. So like clearly there needs to be some reorganization of the security that's in place before I would personally be okay with, you know, even looking at an idea of blockchain technology, which is something that is a lot of investment and money in that technology to even implement that into my systems. I would look at everything else first. And I guarantee you that there's other people out there other than this kid who could easily do the same thing that this kid did if they really wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that these are believed to be young kids, teenagers, a part of this international gang. And, you know, there was also a 17-year-old who cannot be named because of his age, and he was sentenced to an 18-month-long youth rehabilitation order, including an intense supervision and a ban on using VPNs online. And to rehash, the 18-year-old hacker, he is in an indefinite hospital prison because he's got severe autism and he's been very violent under their order, and he's caused numerous property damage. And I'm assuming, because they kind of kept it vague, but I'm assuming it's because of where they were keeping him captive, potentially probably the hotel room, right? So other than that, crazy, and that's as much as we can say. What do you guys think about this? Do you think that sentencing was a bit harsh? Should it be limited, or do you think he's going to work for the government once he kind of cools down a little bit and turns his criminal assets?
It's not the first time that a person who's been living a life of crime decides to work with the government and, you know, fix their life around completely and decide to work for them instead, and, you know, use their skills for something else other than crime.
Right. The kid's still young. He can learn from his actions. So, and we hope for that. And but let's switch topics because Larian Studios, they're back in the news all over again. Break it down. Let the gamers know what's good.
I would say they never left the news, but that's a topic.
Well, yeah,
for a different time.
You're right. They haven't. I mean, if anything, they just they keep getting more publicity.
Yeah, and this time they are in the news because of something kind of funny in a way. Kind of not for the people involved, but kind of funny because of the ridiculousness of it. But they're responding, Larian Studios are responding to reports of Baldur's Gate 3 players getting banned after capturing gameplay on Xbox. And this is after an Xbox user recently received an unexpected 1-year ban. 1 year.
1 year.
After recording 3 clips of Baldur's Gate 3 that featured sexually explicit content. You know, because there is a bit of that in the game. You can see that in the character customization, and there's some romance scenes in the game that also do show some explicit content. But that's not the only thing that's in the game. And Michael Dowse, Larian's director of publishing, noted on X that the studio had seen reports of Xbox players being banned due to TOS, or Terms of Service, infringement because of their, quote, gameplay content. And we do have some comments we can put up from Twitter in regards to that.
And this is Baldur's Gate 3 director of publishing for Larian Studios. And he wrote, "We've seen the reports that some players got banned or otherwise faced issues on Xbox, having uploaded screenshots/videos of their gameplay content. We're in discussion with Microsoft and we're looking into it. Annoying and uncool." Larian Studios Twitter account /X responded, "Xbox players who captured clips have been flagged on Xbox should now see their bans begin to lift. Work is ongoing and the Microsoft team is aware of the issue. If you're wanting to upload any clips, in the meantime, make sure to turn off mature content." So now it becomes the gamers who are joining the conversation. First comment is, Baldur's Gate 3 is too horny for Xbox. You might be right, fam. Phil, when he sees you looking at lustful images. Not the ruler! Nobody should be banned for capturing, not even sharing legally bought Baldur's Gate content. This has just gone wrong from the beginning, from those leaked Xbox slides undervaluing the game to split screen shenanigans to save issues, and now people being banned for complete nonsense. It's a great game. I hope people don't get too down on it. And that's when Michael Dowse, the Larian's director of publishing, responded, "We focus solely trying to ensure players are having a good time no matter where they buy it. So nah, not down, just busy." And as of last night, when it comes to January 8th, to provide clarity on Baldur's Gate 3 mature content enforcement actions, Xbox account suspensions are not automatic. Each clip is reviewed by a moderator, and if found in violation of our safety and content policies, actioned accordingly. Our team evaluates appeals and can reverse suspensions if action was taken in error. If this was a first offense, for example, we will remove the suspension and let players know why it happened and how to avoid future issues, how to turn off auto upload when sensitive content is being captured. For more information, you got to find that tweet on your own, fam. But hey, just kind of seeing how that context all lays out, my first reaction, Henrik, is this is a bit tricky, because how can Microsoft tweak its policy regarding sexually explicit content for the exception of Baldur's Gate 3?
I mean, I don't think they necessarily should, because it's pretty clear, don't post sexually explicit content from our platform. And I mean, think with your head, not with the other head, with your head.
Yeah, not your little head, your big head. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. Like just think about it for a second. Don't be stupid about this. And, the game has plenty of stuff to offer other than the sexually explicit content. So, go ahead and upload that, upload a creative kill of the goblin camp or something, don't why do you have to upload that?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of back and forth dialogue when it came on Twitter and Reddit, and people were going, well, this is why we have family settings. This is why we protect the children. We protect the kids that are under the age of 18. So when these kind of content or shared clips show up on your PS5 or Xbox or whatever, it doesn't matter what platform you're on, it's only going to be catered towards them. But come on, pull it back a little bit. Even if you're 18 and plus, you still don't want to kind of see this shit. And if you're the kind of person that's playing Baldur's Gate 3 and the only thing that you're clipping is you making your character and changing the penis options or the vulva, or sharing you having sex with the bear or one of the numerous characters that you can have with during the game, and you're not actually showing some of the combat play or new achievements, then yeah, that's a bit weird, and I stand by Microsoft standing by their order. They'll give you a warning, but then after the second time, that's really on you. It's just a bit too much. But, let's say, for example, you clipped a clip that's maybe 35 minutes or an hour and a half, and you accidentally forget to put that in. That's one thing, right?
Yeah.
But if you're clipping 30 seconds of you just bestiality... Yeah, that's probably not a good look that Microsoft wants to be represented with, even if it's Game of the Year.
Yeah, and I mean, I could see maybe, Microsoft on their end, maybe they could, flag all the clips from all the games that are rated at M mature or above. Or I guess there's not really any games above M anymore, but you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
They could technically flag all the clips from Baldur's Gate 3 and make it so you have to sign in with an account that is of age to actually look at clips of other people playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't have that system in place, you got to kind of work with what they have. And what they have is something that says don't post that. So don't post that.
So don't post it. It's been there for the longest of time. It's not like just Microsoft wrote this policy in because of this game. That's not the case. So, Baldur's Gate 3, you guys took that risk when you adapted this kind of feature in your own video game. So it's kind of hard to try to pick your battles. And yeah, people want to slander Xbox. Yeah, they were dead ass wrong when their leaks came out saying that they undervalued the game. Everybody did. So don't kid yourself. It's not just Phil Spencer and the rest of the team. Everybody downplayed the impact that Baldur's Gate 3 and Larian Studios brought to the gaming world. So kudos on them again. It's an excellent game, by the way. So if you haven't played it, ignore all the bestiality talks and ignore this. Go play the game, have some fun. You will have a jam-packed time.
Yeah, but what's going on? There's some people playing a game that isn't even out and spending a ton of money in it.
Yeah, what's up
there?
with that? Like, how much money are you willing to spend on a bunch of digital ships usable only in an unfinished space game? Well, seems like there's a market for it because Star Citizen is unveiling the Legatus 2953 pack. It is a virtual armada that comes with an astronomical price tag of $48,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $48,000. Now brace yourselves for the added cosmic challenge. To even qualify for this pack, one must have already spent a whopping $10,000 on other in-game items. So you have to pay altogether $58,000 for this feature. If you do not believe me, well, check it out, fam. It's there for yourself. We had to even circle it for you. Look at that. It's in stock. I guess it runs out.
Yeah, I mean, at least I believe that the ships do go out of stock in this game, which plays 100% plays into the FOMO aspect of playing this game in the first place.
Big time. And we might as well jump into the comments because the first one we got is, I guess people are paying that for a game that's still in beta. Yeah, I know. I'm with you on that one, fam.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about anyone else, but I can afford this. Oh, thanks for tweets of cats. Oh my gosh, what is in your kitty litter that I don't know about? Okay, you got the money tree. Just make sure that my dollar bills, yo, that ain't the ink ain't wet, fam. The DLC pack, while insane, is everything in the game, I believe. More absurd is there's a single ship, the Javelin Destroyer. That by itself is like $3,600 in United States dollars. So for that one ship, laughing out loud. Let the rich people have their game, I guess. Who is it hurting? Really? That's the price of a real spaceship. Okay, pause, Nico. What did you just say? That's the price of a real spaceship? Do we not learn anything about
that is cap.
Do we not learn anything about submarines and video game controllers? Do we not learn anything about that last year in 2023?
Oh, no, you did not bring that up.
If you're really going to be jumping in a spaceship, that's $48,000. I have a real hard time hanging out with you, fam. That is an outlandish take.
Don't go to space with that guy.
No, absolutely not. Let's not say that a spaceship costs $48,000. And it's a digital ship in a video game. Anyone giving them money is ruining entertainment for all time. And last, man, this is the news of Star Citizen that breaks out. Not the revolutionary gameplay or immersion or the bugs, but an optional purchase method. A starter pack is only $45 to $60, guys. Just because you can't afford $50,000 like anybody for everything single ship in game doesn't mean you need to dog on it so hard. People are dogging on it because it's been developed for over 10 plus years. And you know, I even saw other comments that were out there, Henrik, that were saying that, dude, like, this is not a DLC. That's a donation. This is starting to sound like one big, massive George Carlin skit. Really? Yeah. We're going to start to deviate away from the DLC, you know, because it passed a $500 or $1,000, you know, price tag. Now it's a donation. DLC is DLC. If I'm getting something in return, it's a downloadable content, dog. Don't try to twist it. Oh, it just irks me.
And I mean, yeah, this game is still in development because it's one of the biggest ambitious games of all time and keeps getting more and more features. So the feature creep is constant with this game, you know, but at the same time, like, $48,000? Like,
yeah, it's
be
just
real for a second here. This is a video game, fam. Yeah. Like, come on.
I mean, should we be sentenced to life in a hospital prison for paying $58,000? I'm just wondering. Do I get an indefinite hospital order? I mean, you got to be out of your mind. You got to be living in Shutter Island if you think that you're going to be paying for $48,000, by $58,000, excuse me, because you got to pay $10,000 in first for an in-game items for an unfinished product. No way, Jose. Let the whales be whales. But it makes me think. we have this now that actually has a value, a price tag to it. But what's more valuable? I tend to start to think that the Apex heirloom or it has more value.
Not even that. Not even that. Like, I think that the Apex heirloom is a bit more achievable, considering especially you can get that.
Oh man, I got so many of my gamer friends that get so mad that I haven't paid for a single dollar of in-game items in Apex Legends, but I have one. And I got one of my buddies who has paid well in the hundreds and $200 worth of in-game items and still zero to this day. So what's going on? But yeah, what would you say?
I did see some comments online in regards to this topic, kind of comparing the pricing of this versus the pricing of some Counter-Strike 2 skins, like knife skins and gun skins, because those do go for a lot. Some of the really, really rare ones go for like thousands of dollars.
Oh, man, it's just the fact that people do that. But also, they don't tend to get that value without actually opening up a crate. You know? Like,
it's
this
gambling.
is actually one user going after that product. So I guess that is the value, right? It is gambling on a level and something that, the European Union and United States of America have been trying to crack down on. It's like the FIFA scam, Hey, you want to try to get the best of my player? Well, we won't let you purchase him, but keep pitching your money in and potentially you might pull out Ronaldo. So, man, what a jam-packed show for our season 4 launch of Rage Quit video game talk show. It has been such a blast, fam. And just to kind of give you guys a friendly reminder, since you guys are here till the very end, here's the QR code to follow me on my YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe, and you will see a lot more daily content showing up here in the year 2024. And also, Henrik the Wreck, let them know what's good.
Yeah, so I post on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, and I have a couple series that I do every week, either games to play, which is my chance to show a game that I play that I have a lot of fun playing, and you should play it too. And the other one is In Development Soapbox, which is my chance to take a look at a game that's still in development, probably isn't even out yet, but looks awesome, needs a bit more attention because of the fact that it looks awesome. And I do have plans to also make some original content, some memes to post. So you can stay tuned for that. I'm trying to have some fun with you guys.
He's a jokester now. Yeah, he's trying to have some fun, baby. Come on, embrace it. Come on, join the community. We love you guys so much. So hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss a live show. And again, thank you guys so much. And we will see you next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Peace.
Yep, we'll see you then, and we'll rage again.
That's right, baby.